Hi, welcome to the session. This is module 2 and unit 2 friction. So, before going to the numerical aspects, we should learn some of the basic concepts from the friction. Now, what do you mean by friction? We can say the friction is simply a resistance force developed at the contact surface of the two bodies. Before going into the standard definition, let us learn that one. Suppose two bodies are there, consider two blocks. This is first block, this is second block, and these two blocks are in contact at this contact surface. This is the contact surface. When one block moves in one direction and other block relatively tends to move in another direction, when the two bodies in contact and moves, then at this contact surface a resistance force will be developed. This resistance force will be developed against the motion of the body, at the contact surface. That resistance force developed at the contact surface, is known as friction. I will say it once again. The resistance force developed at the contact surface against the motion is known as friction, in a simple words. Now, let us come to the standard definitions. How we can define the friction? Friction can be defined as when a body moves or tends to move over another body, a force opposing the motion develops at the contact surface. That is nothing but resistance force, known as frictional force or simply friction. Then, what do you mean by limiting friction? The maximum value of the frictional force which comes into play when the motion is impending is known as limiting friction. It is the maximum value of the frictional force. What do you mean by static friction then? A frictional force developed at contact surface between the two bodies when the bodies are at rest, known as static friction. Static friction is nothing but it is a frictional force, but the two bodies should be at rest. Then, what do you mean by dynamic friction? A frictional force developed at the contact surface between the two bodies when they are in motion. Static friction means the body should be in rest. Dynamic friction means the body should be in motion. Then, what do you mean by sliding friction? It is the friction experienced by a body when it slides over another body. Nothing but when a body is sliding, the frictional force developed will be the sliding friction. Then, what do you mean by the rolling friction? It is the friction experienced by the body when it rolls over another body. In these definitions, the name itself suggests which kind of friction it is. Okay. Then, what do you mean by coefficient of friction? This is very important from the numerical aspects. What do you mean by coefficient of friction? It is the constant ratio between limiting friction and the normal reaction. It is the constant ratio between the limiting friction and the normal reaction. The coefficient of friction is denoted by mu and limiting friction is nothing but F, normal reaction is N. The ratio of F to N is known as mu, that is the coefficient of friction. Now, I will tell you how it will be. Suppose we will take this one only. Here the two bodies are in contact. I will take the first body. Here the first body is moving rightward. So, a frictional force will be developed at this contact surface against this motion, nothing but opposite to this motion means this body is moving rightward. So, the resistance force will develop towards left side, where at the contact surface. So, draw one parallel line and it is opposite to the motion. Since the body is moving rightward, we will write the resistance force leftward. So, I call that resultant force as frictional force. Now, according to Newton's third law, we know that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. How the reaction will act? From the previous units, we know that reaction is going to act perpendicular to the plane. Reaction will be perpendicular to the plane at the contact point. So, this is the contact surface. Everywhere there will be a contact points. Then it is a horizontal line. The plane is horizontal. Therefore, reaction will be vertical. How? Equal and opposite. So, we call that one as normal reaction. So, the coefficient of friction is given by mu, that is equal to this limiting friction F divided by normal reaction N. Mu is equal to F by N, or we can also write that one as F is equal to mu into N. We will make use of this equation to easily solve the problems. Now, what are the laws of friction? Usually we call that one as laws of dry friction or Coulomb's law of dry friction. Now, we will see one by one. The frictional force always acts in a direction opposite to that in which the body tends to move. If the body is moving in rightward direction, then the friction will develop leftward direction, that is all. Then B, till the limiting value, that is nothing but maximum value, till the limiting value is reached, the magnitude of the frictional force is exactly equal to the tangential force which tends to move the body. Till the maximum value is reached, limiting value is reached, the magnitude of the frictional force F value is exactly equal to the tangential force which tends to move the body. Then the magnitude of the limiting friction bears a constant ratio to the normal reaction between the contact surfaces, that is F to N ratio, F divided by N ratio. Then the force of friction depends upon the roughness or smoothness of the surfaces. If the contact surface, nothing but here the two bodies are there, it is the contact surface. If the contact surface is smooth, then the friction will be less, resistance will be less. If the contact surface is rough, then the friction will be more. Okay. Then the force of friction is independent of the area of the contact between the two surfaces. Suppose if the area is too small, then the friction will be less. If the area is too large, then the friction will be more. Not like that. The friction does not depends upon the contact area. It depends upon roughness or smoothness of the surface. Then after the body starts moving, the dynamic friction comes into play, the magnitude of which it is less than that of the limiting friction, and it bears a constant ratio to the normal force. This ratio is called coefficient of dynamic friction. Initially the bodies will be at rest, so we are going to get static friction. When they starts moving, we are going to get dynamic friction. In that dynamic friction situation, the magnitude of which it is nothing but magnitude of the friction, it is less than the limiting friction, that is nothing but maximum value, and it bears a constant to that normal force, that is F by N. This ratio is called coefficient of dynamic friction. Now, another one important definition is angle of friction. What do you mean by angle of friction? The angle made by the resultant force with the normal reaction is known as angle friction. For example, this is a body, this is the floor, nothing but the body in contact with the floor at this contact surface. At this contact surface, we are going to get frictional force and the normal reaction. There are two forces, F and N. If we find the resultant, then this will be the resultant force. Then the angle made by this resultant with respect to the vertical line, that is normal reaction, is known as angle of friction. The angle made by the resultant force with respect to the normal reaction is known as angle of friction, that is given by, we know that coefficient of friction is mu, that should be equal to tan theta, where theta is the angle of friction, and this should be equal to F by N. This is also one of the important equation, mu is equal to tan theta, that is equal to F by N. Now, before solving the problem, some of the important notes or instructions or suggestions you need to keep it in mind. Some of the important notes are, here we can observe the two bodies A and B, and the body B is pulling towards rightwards. If the body is pulling towards rightwards, nothing but if the body B is going to move towards right, then what about the body A? Whether it remains the same? Maybe it remains the same, but when we compare with the body B, when we compare body A with the body B in motion, the body B moves rightward, means the body A is going to move leftward relatively. Body A is going to move leftward relatively with respect to the body B. Now, we can write the free body diagram of the same. First, I will take the body A, then there will be a self weight. So, I am going to write the weight. Weight always acts vertically downwards. So, WA. Then identify the contact surface. This body has only one contact. So, call that one as 1. So, at the contact surface, we always get frictional force and the normal reaction. So, write one horizontal line and the vertical line, parallel line and perpendicular line. Then, if the B is moving rightward, then A will move leftward. If the A is moving leftward, then the frictional force will move rightwards. So, write the rightward direction, then normal reaction will be opposite to the block or perpendicular to the block. We wrote that one. Since it is first contact surface, F1 N1. Then write the body B, then write the self weight, that is WB, acting downward. Then the body B will be having two contact surface. This is one contact surface and here it is another contact surface between the body B and the floor. Second contact surface. First write the weight W2, then the attachments, that is P is there, write down. Then at the contact surfaces, take it the first contact surface, write one parallel line and perpendicular line. Then at the second contact surface, write one parallel line and the perpendicular line. Then if you come to the direction, the body B is moving rightward. So, write leftward for the frictional force, leftward opposite to the motion. Then normal reaction will be perpendicular or opposite to the plane. Okay. This is regarding how to write the free body diagram. First, we need to take the black, then write the weight, then write the attachments, then find out the contact surfaces. At the contact surfaces, write a parallel line and perpendicular line. Then parallel line will be the frictional force, perpendicular line will be the normal reaction. For a frictional force, it always acts opposite to the motion. If the body is moving leftward, it will act rightward. If the body is moving rightward, then it will act leftward, rightward. Okay. Then another instructions are, the weight W always acts vertically downwards. The weight always acts vertically downwards. At contact surface, we will get F and N, that is frictional force and normal reaction. F acts along the surface and opposite to the motion. Acts along the surface, nothing but it will be parallel to the surface, and it acts opposite to the motion of the body. Then N will be acts perpendicular to the contact surface. Then relative motion. If two blocks are in contact, what do you mean by relative motion? If the two blocks are in contact, then if the first block is moving left, then the second block is assumed to move in the opposite direction. Second block is assumed to move in the opposite direction. The first block is moving leftward, then the second block will move rightwards. This assumption we call that one as relative motion. Then smooth surface. If it is a smooth surface, there will be no friction, only the normal reaction will be there. Please remember, if it is a smooth surface, there will be no friction, only the normal reactions will be there. Then if we come to the types of problems in this particular module, in this particular unit, there are three types of problem. One is block, wedge and ladder. Block, wedge and ladder friction problems. How it looks like, I have wrote the diagram for each type of friction problems. For a block, it consisting of the blocks. Then wedge, it is a block. To lift the block upward or downward, we are going to make use of wedge. It is a tool. So this type of friction we call that one as wedge friction. Then ladder, you know that ladder, it will be in contact with the wall and the floor. So this type of problem. Then we are going to solve this problem by using equilibrium conditions or Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem is applicable only for three concurrent forces and two unknowns. All the three forces should act towards the point or away from the point. Suppose if that condition is not satisfactory, then we will move on to the equilibrium conditions to solve the problems. So to solve the block problems, we are going to make use of horizontal 0, vertical 0. Wedge problems, horizontal 0, vertical 0. Then if we come to the ladder problems, here we are going to make use of three conditions: horizontal, vertical and moment should be 0. Please remember this one. There are three types of problems, and these are we are going to solve the problem either by using Lami's theorem or the equilibrium condition, whichever is suitable. If we are using Lami's equilibrium conditions, then for block and wedge, only two conditions: horizontal 0, vertical 0. For ladder, three conditions: horizontal, vertical and moment should be 0. With these basics, we will move on to the problems. Thank you.